Today we're taking another look at one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, and we're performing some technical analysis in order to make some predictions on where we can expect to see the price of Ethereum go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video. And we haven't taken a look at Ethereum in a little while, and given that the crypto market has started to recover, I thought now was a decent time to check it out and see what it's done over the past couple of weeks. We're going to perform our usual technical analysis using various indicators such as moving averages, the MACD and RSI, and we're going to make some price predictions on where we can expect to see Ethereum go in the next few days, weeks, and possibly months. But before we get into that, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video, and if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, investing, stocks, and wealth management. I'd also love to know your thoughts on Ethereum down in the comments section below. But without further ado, let's jump straight in the computer and start the technical analysis. Welcome into CoinSpot, guys. If you're looking to buy cryptos including Ethereum or anything else, there is a link down in the description of this video to sign up and start buying now. But let's take a look at Ethereum and let's zoom out. The last time we took a look at Ethereum, just jump into the daily quickly, was probably on the 9th of July. So I'm just going to chuck in a bit of a marker to reflect exactly where that point in time actually was. It was roughly about here. Make it a bit thicker so we can see it. As you can see, since that point it did drop, but it bottomed out at roughly $2,420 Australian, and since that point has risen to a high of 3,780 roughly. So that's fantastic, and we're currently sitting at $3,616 Australian. So there has been a big recovery since that point in time, basically a 50% recovery. So great news for holders, and this is, I suppose, a good sign of the crypto market at this point in time. We've been suffering for a few months, but as you can see, we are now starting to creep up and move up consistently over time. Not only that, one thing to point out is the volume is coming in. It's not like it's off, I suppose, small bits of volume. We're seeing Ethereum rise consistently off a decent amount of volume each day. So that's typically what you would expect though with the second largest crypto. So no surprises there really. But what can we see from an analysis perspective? Well, let's zoom out a bit. I think one of the interesting things we can see is if we just I'll zoom back in. There was almost, I suppose, a double bottom that had occurred, but I don't think it did, unless you're, I suppose, counting the tails. So maybe you had one, maybe you had two, double bottom, reversal pattern, and then we started moving the other direction. But the reason I say it's not was because this point here, and it's just absolutely blown it out completely. So I don't think we could say it's really a double bottom, just due to the fact that there's a bit of a disparity in the price, with the, I suppose, back in June, the minimums going down to 2,330, whereas it's only dropped in recent times to 2,420 roughly. So yeah, it's too big of a difference in my opinion to be able to call that a double bottom, but I think we're definitely seeing some sort of a reversal pattern occur here. So let's put in place a few key points. First of which was the original point of support, which I really believe was sitting firmly, very firmly at 2,470 roughly. So I'll chuck that one in there. Maybe a bit lower actually. If you do look at the chart, maybe you're talking 2,455. Anyway, chuck that in. That is probably a pretty firm point of support we've got now, which is fantastic. Another point of support has actually just formed as well, and that is sitting at here, which is roughly about $3,200, and it's one we've broken through. This was really a bit of a trading channel that we had seen, and we managed to break through it. A bit of indecision just as it was occurring on the 28th of the 7th, but we did get through. We saw a big, I suppose, chance at getting through back on the 26th, pulled back, and then it did continue to actually go up. Then we had the day of indecision, and then on the 29th, we, I suppose, really clearly closed above that key point of resistance. So great news. Now, and we've continued upwards, obviously. So where's our new point of resistance? Where's the point that we need to break through now? Well, actually, where we're currently sitting at 3,600 Australian dollars is a very important point in time. If we zoom out, you can see plenty of price action has occurred at this point in time in the recent months. When we've had all these indecisions on what's going on with the price, there's been plenty of price action at the point. That means we really need to get through this mark, and we're sitting at it. As I said, we're testing it. It's a bit unsure, similar to like we were back on the 28th, unsure of what's going to happen, and we're just trying to test, seeing if we got the strength, seeing if we got the buying power to get through. As you can see, the volume on today is a bit lower than what we've seen on the previous days, so people aren't really sure. If we see a break, I expect a jump in the volume for the day, or even in the following days, given that that brings, I suppose, a bit of confidence for investors. Now, given we're sitting at 3,610 actually at the moment, roughly, where is the next mark if we do manage to get a real clear breach? Let's have a look. Let's zoom out and let's, I suppose, take into account what we have seen in the past. Now, really, all we have to do is look back to the start of the year, or a bit earlier in the year, in the May sort of period when Ethereum peaked. All we're going to have to do is go up and find, okay, where is a point where there has been a ton of price action and will act as resistance? I think, personally, the first point at which we see lots and lots of price action occur is at probably, I'd suggest there might be some at 4,310, but where there's been a lot more days worth, we're looking probably at about 4,545. So that's actually quite a leap from where we are now. So in essence, we're almost in blue sky territory when we break through this 3,600 mark significantly. We'll be jumping potentially another $1,000 almost within the next few weeks if this pattern continues, if strength continues to come back to the crypto market. So all in all, that is a fantastic target, and that will be my target for today's video, hitting that $4,500 point. That is where we want to see Ethereum go within the next few weeks if we manage to break through 3,600. Worst case scenario, if we don't, we dip down to, back to this point, 3,195 roughly, bounce and start moving back up again to test 3,600. We shall see. Now, let's bring in a few more different indicators. I'm going to bring in some of our favorites. The 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average, as well as the final one, which is the 200-day moving average. Let me just bring all these ones in right here. There we go, all in place. And something interesting is occurring, as you can see. We nearly had something which was a bit worrying with the 20-day crossing almost over that 200-day moving average at about $2,830. It didn't occur. Instead, we started moving upwards and we saw a golden cross. Yes. Wow, that is fantastic news. We saw a golden cross on the 1st of August, which basically occurred at the price point of $2,957, with the 20-day moving average crossing back above the 50-day moving average. So that is incredible news, and it shows we're really starting to see a shift in the momentum. We had that death cross back here, back in the start of June, which had occurred, which was really indicative of the big dump that we saw, but now it looks like a bit of strength's coming back to Ethereum. So great stuff there, guys. Let's also take a look at the MACD, see what's happening there. As you can see, we saw a nice cross, obviously, at our bottom, and then started moving upwards. The momentum's actually continued quite some consistently, and this is, I suppose, where the peak appears to be. We might start moving downwards. I think we will if there is a bit of contention, but if we break 3,600, I think we'll continue to see green days moving forward. So good stuff there. Everything's looking relatively positive, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a back off in the buying and maybe a bit of consolidation between the 3,195 mark and the 3,600 mark. Would not surprise me at all, and it would form a better base for the next move upwards. So let's just bring in as well the relative strength index, and as you can see, we're actually sitting in overbought territory now at 72 points, outside the 30 to 70 band where we're sitting comfortably. So I'm genuinely expecting to see, based on these factors now, that we're going from 3,600 now, unfortunately, down to 3,195 again. We're going to test it just purely because we're overbought. Simple as that. But I suppose, as you can see, this has occurred in the past and it has occurred over a long period of time. So it's still feasible that we might see a bit of a few more green days, but I think overall we're going to see some consolidation, as I mentioned before. So wrapping that up, I suppose my first target still remains that 3,600 mark before we can start moving ahead to hit that 4,500 mark roughly. But in the meantime, I think we're going to see 3,600 and 3,195 be the two key points that we're bouncing between over the coming days. These moving averages might also move up, in particular 20-day, to act as a layer of support so that we do not, crash through this mark here at 3,195, which is acting as a support point. So a lot going for Ethereum at the moment, and it's good to see a lot of the, I suppose, confidence coming back into the crypto market, especially with these very important coins, including Ethereum. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments section below on the direction you think Ethereum is going to be taking within the next few weeks. If you did enjoy today's video, remember to leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.